Yeah. Well, we are live. Welcome to Super Serial Showtime, everyone. As always, I am your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. We're here to talk about movies, shows, comics, books, whatever floats our boat in the world of serialized entertainment. So strap in, invite your friends, get more people in this audience, and we will have a wonderful time. How you doing today?
Sorry, I'm a little sniffly and coffee today.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm all right.
That's good.
Just, I think the post-rain pollen has finally shown its face or something.
Yeah, because there's been a break in the rain, right?
Yeah. And after we get such torrential rains, of course, the trees love it. And all the trees that probably shouldn't be here.
Yeah. All the weeds love it.
They start, going on dates and, showing off their stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, gross. I'll deal with it. I've got my thumb hovering over the mute button at all times.
Trees are so lucky. They don't have to
also
go on dates.
driving.
They just kind of like let the wind do all the work for them, and sometimes bugs.
Yeah. Yep. They're like, here's my reproductive substance.
Yeah.
Enjoy, everyone. Yuck. But anyway, I'm on my way. I'm just in the car.
Well, I'm in my chair.
I had a busy day.
Yeah. I guess it's your chair.
Ready to talk about anime and such.
Yeah. Which I do have a little bit of that on here. Not a lot, actually. Today's not like a heavy like anime day. I know you said you wanted to talk a little bit about One Punch Man. I got a little bit of Chainsaw Man too, so we could talk a little bit of that.
Oh.
Everything else is
Very
like,
good.
I think live action series. I actually have a book to talk about for a change. There's a book on here, but it's a lot of like movies and series.
No.
So let's start with what you got.
Okay. All right. Well, One Punch Man is coming very, very soon.
Yes,
Season 3.
Yes,
and they released a 15-second trailer that unfortunately seemed to confirm a lot of people's suspicions that season 3 was not going to be of particularly high quality.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a disappointing trailer. Yeah. It was apparently a lot of just still shots and mouth flaps or whatever you call it. And
it is yet another studio.
Not a lot.
It's being done by JC staff. That explains it.
Oh, that sounds, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Right.
Are they relatively new?
They worked on season 2 because season 2 was not just one studio. So even though they worked on season 2, this seems to be even worse quality than season 2 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, JC staff isn't new. They're actually pretty old. They've been around for quite a while, couple decades or so. But they're a lower budget studio.
Yeah. Well, people obviously have said about that, but after the trailer and the reaction to it, the director came out, and there's a new director this season, and he hasn't done sort of big name anime before.
Yeah.
And although he did work on apparently Pokemon Diamond and Pearl back in 2006.
Yeah, but Pokemon outside of the
Notre Dame.
movies isn't really known for its animation quality.
Yeah, that's true. That's like probably the best known thing that he's worked on, I guess. But seems to be a young director, and people unfortunately have been harassing him and his staff. Um, and one of the things a couple of weirdos are, latching onto is that back in the day, apparently, he worked on some adult anime,
Mm-hmm.
which really
Do you know the name
isn't
of it?
surprising, or no, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I'm not sure offhand, but apparently it's pretty common for that to be the sort of thing that young directors sort of cut their teeth on. It's not that crazy, but some people have been calling him all kinds of names and stuff, and he's been blocking people. I think rightly so in this case on X.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it's
no
been
offense,
unfortunate, but
it may not be as much here, but in Japan, Pokemon is still like, I think the number 2 children's anime. Like, it is the second most popular in Japan after like some of the other longer running. I think Doraemon might actually beat it out on whatever current series is usually going on. But in Japan, at least, it is still like a big name show. But also, Diamond and Pearl was back when it was still at its peak here, watching on TV.
Yeah. Well, after the trailer, he came out and gave a whole spiel, telling people that he understood. He did not attack the fans or anything like that. He said he totally understood how people feel. He said he's very sorry that they're disappointed, and that they're and that frankly, I mean, he was pretty brutally honest. He was like, look, I'm sorry, but this is not going to be to the level of quality of season 1.
Yeah,
but
that's something that you can't blame the studio for that, right? Because budget constraints is part of talent constraints. Because like Studio Madhouse can just afford better talent than anyone else. They can recruit it, right? And that's not the studio's fault. That's the license holder's fault for skimping out and going to a different studio. Don't blame the director or anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically saying, look, we are very passionate about this, and we are, absolutely going to do our best. And, we hope that it's exceeds your expectations as far as, your low expectations. And we're very, we're dedicated to this this particular story, and we're gonna, we're not phoning it in. We're really, really doing our best.
Also expect it to probably be a little higher than the 15-second clip, because usually when you get that is like the earliest finished stuff that they have to show. Like the rest of everything could even be higher quality than that.
Yeah, but that stuff did come out like a week ago, and I think it's due to start coming out in I don't know, a couple of months, pretty soon. But
I think it's October.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty nice. I mean, he was just like, look, I totally get it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be spectacular, but we hope you give it a chance. And he did say, please don't blame the staff. It's not, don't harass the staff, please. And, please don't ask us questions that that we can't answer because of NDAs and stuff like that. So, and he was like, we really hope that you appreciate how much work went into it and everything. And I know sometimes that sounds hollow, because I've heard like game developers say stuff like that, but then they're usually coming from a place of entitlement, where they're like,
a lot of times
work so hard on this, you should love it.
A lot of times with the game developer too, they are the license holder. Like they're the one, the studio, maybe in the company that owns the property, and the company chose that studio, and it's like you have basically free reign with the license. But with this adaptation, it's like they were approached by the license holder because they were shopping around. It's not like they're choosing to skimp out or anything as a studio.
Yeah, exactly. So, he basically said, there's some things beyond our control, and we're just going to roll with it. Sort of how did Rumsfeld put it? You go to war with the army you've got,
Yeah. And I actually didn't have a problem with season 2. I could see that the
Me
animation
neither.
wasn't as good. Like I could just tell, but that just comes from experience of somewhat working on animation myself when I was younger, but more so just watching thousands of hours of animation in my life. Like you could tell when stuff is better and when it's not. I don't think it was a problem though. It's just saying is like, of course, animation quality is the complaint because fans only care about like the battle shonen. But that's actually not even where a lot of the animation complaints were, because when they did spend money in season 2, it was usually like finishing out the big fights and everything. It was everywhere else as well that you were losing the animation quality, even if it's just like them running from place to place, the way a face tweens in expression, like from one expression to the other, the more dramatic stuff, it just wasn't to the same quality. But I thought it was perfectly fine, But I knew they were changing studios ahead of time, so maybe that set my expectations right.
Well, I mean, it could work in their favor if expectations are super low, and then it ends up being not bad. Just kind of, it's okay. That could be a good thing. But I thought it was kind of, and he went through all the stuff. I don't have it in front of me right now, but he went through all the stuff that he's worked on in the past, and I thought it seemed respectable. So I thought that was a nice kind of breath of fresh air that he wasn't hiding from the facts and just saying, give it a chance. We're really, really doing our best. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
So I'm a little now, more hopeful that it will be a decent season. So that's all I have about that.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. But I went to look it up because you asked, like, were they new? And I said, no, they've been around for a while. JC Staff was founded in 86.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They've been around for decades.
Yeah.
Though, I think, did they do movies before TV? Because sometimes when you start off, you just get like OVAs and short films. Yeah, they did OVAs and short films first. Which their first OVA came out in 87, which was Elf 17. So they've been making stuff since then.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're just a budget studio, like you said.
Yeah. It's not like Madhouse. Like, animation quality, some of the best movies and series I've ever seen as far specifically animation quality have all basically come from Madhouse. There's a couple other things, like Gainax was competing with them at the same time. Gainax actually, I think, probably held that title earlier than Madhouse did. And then a lot of the talent from Gainax went over to Trigger. Gainax isn't even a thing anymore. But Studio Trigger has like super high animation quality. It doesn't necessarily mean you always like their stuff, but the quality is there.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Studio Dean? No, we are not talking about Studio Dean. The Studio Dean, they're a budget one, but there's a lot of stuff I love from Studio Dean. The original Ranma was done by Studio Dean, but it shows quite a bit sometimes. But I thought at least their illustrative work in Dean was good. I love their illustrative work. They cut a lot of corners with animation here and there, more than most people.
Well, see, I grew up, in the 80s with, Transformers and G.I. Joe, which were utter shit when it came to the animation, because they just shipped it off to Singapore and then come back.
Oh,
just
yeah.
A mess.
I think if we were to pick, like, Dean was working in the 80s. Dean did most of Urusei Yatsura as well. Like, I think they did all of that. If we were to compare, like, Urusei Yatsura that was running at the same time as Transformers, it would blow it away in animation.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, you'd have the wrong person's mouth moving, when somebody's talking, and, just weird shit, just jumping all over the place, and
yeah,
just all these errors and stuff. So that doesn't bother me. And frankly, it's kind of the opposite of my feelings about video games. As long as the story is good, who cares?
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah, yeah.
looks a little bit janky. Yeah.
Well, it's because like it's like an emergent property, right? Where it's
Mhm.
like just because one thing's not that good, the whole could be
Mhm.
better than the sum of any of its parts.
Yeah, I mean, the like you said, I didn't have a problem at all with season two
Yeah.
because there were really interesting characters and stories. I mean, the guy that wants to become a monster and he's just kicking the ass of all of these
Oh yeah,
heroes.
yeah, yeah. Garu.
And then he goes up against One Punch Man. He's like, "What the
Mm.
fuck?"
Where you'll
Yeah.
be seeing him stick around for quite a long time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think I've
he's
heard
like
that.
a main guy that just kind of like sticks around.
Mm. Hmm. That computer is not
Mm.
getting any internet for some reason.
Wow.
It's weird.
Also, Fizz, he says, I don't keep track of these anime studios. They don't create original IP, so he doesn't really care about the studio. A lot of them do have original IPs. They're often not as popular as the adaptations they do. Obviously, that's why they try to get licensed adaptations. But almost every studio has had some original projects here and there, right? What was it? Earlier this year, we watched an original project, something that was anime first, and that was the Train to the End of the World. Like, there's a lot of that stuff that just pops up.
Hmm. Oh, what studio was that?
I don't remember what studio that was in. I'm just saying, like, these
Huh.
studios don't only do adaptations; they do have a lot of original IPs too. That was a good one, though. I'm trying to remember. Was that Mappa? Maybe
Yeah,
Mappa did Train to the End of the World.
sounds right.
Let me look.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked that one. I'm probably gonna go rewatch it sometime.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
EMT. It was done by EMT Squared.
Hmm. Yeah,
Which
that was a cool
is a
show.
fairly new one. They were founded in 2013. So, yeah, they're doing pretty good. In fact, it seems most of the stuff that studio does is original. Trigger does a lot of original stuff too. That's like Panty and Stocking, which was technically originally Gynax, but it was Gynax by the guy who founded Studio Trigger, and he got his property back. And Gynax used to do that. Like, they would do some licensed stuff, but they were a studio that mostly did original properties that were like anime first. And Trigger is mostly the same way too. Occasionally, which one was it that Trigger did? It was oh god, it's one of the ones that we watch. Maybe it was Spy Family. One of the ones we watch is done by Trigger. They do license stuff, but they often focus mostly on their original IPs. Yeah, because I think Free Madhouse. Yeah, I can't remember. But there was something we were watching where it's like it was also done by no, I know. Was it Delicious in Dungeon? I think that's the one that was done by Trigger. Because I think Spy Family's its own company. Let me look. It's gonna take me a bit to find this while live. Yes, it was Dungeon Meshi. That was the one that was adapted by Trigger. I knew it was one of the ones we watched recently where it's like, wow, Trigger doesn't do a lot of adaptations. It's interesting that they did this one. Did I lose you? Are you there? I don't know if you walked in. Did your headset or your ear pods resync to the other thing or? Yes, rest in peace, Marsupial. Yeah, but I guess still on the topic of anime, the studio behind the Chainsaw Man, which I'm trying to remember which studio this is. You've been talking for like 3 minutes? Yeah, we haven't heard you for like 3 minutes at all. That's why I just kept on talking. Nothing came through. The Porsche built-in Starlink failed him again. I don't think this Porsche would have built-in Starlink. It's too old. Yeah, so Mappa does Chainsaw Man. I was looking in the article. I got distracted because my brother sent me a message at the same time. Has talked about why they decided that they're looking to go for a movie instead of making a season 2, which they will come back for like a season 2, but season 2 is going to be arc 3 instead of arc 2. And the reason that they're choosing to have a movie take up the story for a second season is because they were able to get a team up with Sony Pictures and they thought it would broaden the audience. They thought they'd be able to get more people to watch it if it was in theaters because there isn't a huge crossover between like Crunchyroll viewers and the theatrical audience in their opinion. Now, this might be true in Japan, but I also think Japan has a stronger theater-going culture currently than we do. Like, our cinema culture has been dying. Not as much people go to movies as they used to. Some of, like, the most popular things are still seeing as many tickets as before, but there are less things that are succeeding, right? Which means that people are cutting back and they're watching fewer movies. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Good. You talking about Absolute Cinema?
No, I'm talking about why Studio Mappa decided to make Chainsaw Man's second arc a movie instead as a season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's because they wanted to broaden the audience. They thought they could get newer people who don't just like use Crunchyroll if they put it in theaters. And I was saying like that's probably a good idea in Japan, right? I think Flit even brings up who can even afford to go to the theater. It's cheaper still. By comparison, it's less expensive to go to a movie in Japan than it is here on average, unless you're seeing like an old movie, right? If you go to like a discount movie theater that only shows old movies, then you can get like an inexpensive trip to the cinema. But here, if you're even watching like a rerun of an old movie, they charge just as much in the main theaters as they would if you were watching a brand new movie, which bothers me. I shouldn't have to pay like $15 to see Kiki's Delivery Service. That movie is like 2.5 decades old or something, you know?
Yeah, the problem is that it's using up a theater.
Yeah, that's the issue. So they have to charge just as much no matter what.
Yeah, we need to find like a small indie theater that only plays cheaper, older stuff.
Well, that's how I saw the third Expendables. I saw it like, I think 2 years after it came out in a discount theater where I only paid, I think it was like $2 movie night. We all got our tickets for $2 and it was back in like the tens, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a the Franklin Theater in Franklin, Tennessee. Small indie theater. That's where I saw Chasing Amy, actually.
Oh,
a bunch
nice.
of other cool stuff. No, so wait, Spy Family was a collaboration between Wit Studio and Cloverworks.
Oh, okay. Well, when I looked it up, which you might have cut me off, cut out quite a while, I did realize which one I was thinking of that was Trigger, and that was Dungeon Meshi. Spy Family, when you even look up the production, it just says Spy Family Productions, which is probably the combination of those two studios working together. Right there, they probably do it under that, like LLC or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so.
But I did figure out which one I was thinking of.
Good.
Yeah.
Because Wit Studio worked on Attack on Titan and Vinland Saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all three of those shows have some of the better studios that are out right now when it comes to animation. The third one was Freeman, which I remembered off the top of my head was Madhouse. That's because like some of the animation just looks so good in Freeman, it's like it had to be Madhouse.
I guess it apparently, what's it called? Mappa has done some work on Spy Family as well.
I'm sure. There are a lot of projects where there's basically like an LLC, just like just a limited liability corporation that is made for the production, and multiple studios are actually working on it underneath that like production company.
Yeah. So in those cases, do they basically have the same director, just directing it all? Like, how do they keep it?
Usually, you'll have like a single showrunner. That doesn't mean they'll have the same director on each episode, but there'll be like an executive director / showrunner that keeps everything kind of tight.
Oh, Cloverworks worked on actually this season of Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus and My Dress Up Darling.
Yeah. But yeah, like looking from the Japanese perspective, I completely understand why they think putting something in theaters would expand their audience. In Japan, the cost of a theater ticket actually usually varies more on like what you're seeing than where you're going to see it. Obviously, if you go to the premiere theater, it's still going to cost more no matter what. But like going to see an anime is probably not going to cost as much as like an imported American film or something, right? And they don't even make you have to have a certain length to be in the theaters. Kind of like how theaters used to be here, where now you have to be a feature-length film, basically, to be in the theater. And sometimes if you're just short, you have to add a short in front of it to bump your thing to be long enough. So you have to be at least like 70 minutes, or a movie theater probably will not get you because it's not worth running in one of their rooms. While in Japan, it's like you could put like a 40-minute short film for an anime, and that's fine. Like they do not have those type of requirements. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we've said this before, but Spy Family is starting back up again October 4th.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff coming back October, right? We got One Punch Man, we got Spy Family, we got Ranma. October's going to be a really good time.
Oh, when is Ranma starting up again?
In October, I think. I think that's when they said it was. I'll double check. Might have been September.
Oh, wait. Wow, One Punch Man is the day after on October 5th. That's awesome.
Let me double check so I'm not saying incorrect things.
Let's see, Ranma.
Yep, October. Yeah,
well,
I thought so.
Yeah. Well, shoot, it's hard to search for it because if you say season 2, it tells you, oh yeah, season 2 is in 1989.
The Studio Mappa one, not the Studio Dean.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that would help. One half Studio Mappa.
Or sometimes it's called Mappa
That doesn't
Productions. It depends how they translate it.
I want to know the exact date.
There's a few different ones that it bothers me that it's like their official name.
Also October 4th.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, like that's when the
In
season
Spy
starts.
Family.
Like that era or that season of the year starts for a lot of things. So a lot of them are going to drop on the same exact day.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be just overloaded.
Yeah,
What are we gonna watch?
all of them. Duh.
Everything.
Well, there's only going to
Oh,
be
yeah,
one
that's right.
episode
It's
at a
not on
time,
a specific time.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like we're going to binge
Wow.
it. It's like, okay, well, in one sitting, we can actually watch like 4 shows because they're
Yeah.
all new and there's nothing else to watch after that. There's not like an episode 2 or anything.
Oh well, too bad, Monster. We're never gonna finish you.
That's not my fault.
Too bad, Inuyasha.
But there's a few studios where their official translation of their name will be like the main name, like Mappa or David or whatever, and then it'll be like productions. But then in interviews, anytime somebody translates what they're saying, they'll put like studio and then the name. It's like, can't we just keep this straight? Right? Like the one who did Urusei Yatsura was David Productions, but in half the interviews it says Studio David. It's like, but the official translation is David Productions. I'm trying to keep these names straight in my head. Stop ruining it for me.
Yeah. I want to see if there's a list of all of the shows that are coming out in October. One Punch Man, Fire Force. Solo Leveling.
Oh man, I'm almost caught up on Fire Force 2. I need to finish that before the new one comes out.
Yeah. My friend's little sister has it in for me. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, that's confusing. So something split into 2 parts, premiering in April. Oh, season 3 isn't coming until April. Well, Google sucks because of oh. I guess that was this year. Okay, so the other half of the season is going to be in January. Looks like. So you got a little while.
I lost track of what show you were talking about.
I was talking about Fire Force.
Fire
Force
Force.
season 3 premiered in April of this year.
Oh yeah. I've been watching it.
And
I
the
thought the
second
second
half
half was
begins
already
January.
coming. Yeah. So it's a little
well, I
while
searched
longer.
for anime. Yeah, I searched for anime that's coming out in October, and it came up. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
stupid
Yeah, I was
Google.
hoping that the second half would be out already, but I'm still like, I think 2
until
episodes behind.
January.
Like I was kind of keeping up, but then I stopped because I was waiting for. I started watching in the dub, so I wanted to continue watching the dub. It's like I'd have to watch it subbed if I want to completely catch up. So I had to wait like 2 weeks for each episode to finally get in, and now I'm like a couple behind.
Yeah, and I've been watching Rising. Is it Rising of the Shield Hero, or just Rise of the Shield, whatever. And yeah, I watched an episode last week in Japanese, and then I was like, oh, it takes I was like, I just got used to the English dub, so now I'm just watching everything a week behind, unfortunately.
Yep. Flit says so far season 2 of Ranma is the only thing he's interested in. It's not the only thing I'm interested in, but it might as well be. Like that's my favorite. Actually, that might be my favorite story of all time. I don't know. I have to think about that. But it's definitely my favorite manga and anime of all time. So like, obviously above all other things, I'm waiting for that. Especially because, I already know what's going to happen. But I'm actually I'm more so waiting for like season 4 or 5 for whenever it catches up to where they kind of just stopped in the original series. If you also minus all of the filler in it, because the series is like over half filler, or almost half filler. Like I kind of want to get to where they actually finish the entire story that's in the manga, because some of the stuff at the end of the manga is so good, and it's just never ever been animated, even in OVAs and stuff. But I have to get to season 2 to get there.
Yeah. Well,
I hope they go all the way to the end.
and Ranma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how many seasons?
I'm trying to think how many it would be, right? So the original show was 7 seasons, but like 47% of those episodes were filler, which is pretty bad. So you could say effectively it's about like just under 4 seasons if we took out all the filler.
Yeah.
And then another season's worth of like OVAs, like direct-to-video stuff that came out over time. And that covered some of the later stuff that wasn't in the main series. And then there was 2 movies that are technically not canon. They were just made up for movies. And so we can kind of eliminate those 2. So we could say approximately 4 or 5-ish seasons worth from the original. And then that wasn't even the end. There was still probably another season or 2 left of story after that. Because they only got like 2/3 into the story of the manga when they stopped. And this will, maybe it'll be the same number of seasons because of the way they're doing the pacing, but it'll be lower episode count to get there because the seasons are half as long as the original series, right? They covered, 2 of the episodes were moved to season 2, so I'm moving back in. But in like 20 episodes that were supposed to be season 1 of the original show, they covered that same story in like, what was it, 12, I think, 10 or 12? They cut it in half. So it's not going to take anywhere near as long in episode count to catch up, but it'll probably take just as many years. Flit wants to see how they handle Hapasai. I do too. I hope that they just do it raw. I hope he is a filter for so many people watching that show. A lot of people dislike Hapasai, but you're supposed to. You're supposed to dislike him, which is why I love him. I think he's a great character. He's an annoying menace that just makes everybody's life around him miserable. And that's why I think he's great as a character in a show.
Yeah. Okay, the Chainsaw Man movie's coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's like really soon.
September. So there's not that much coming out, just a bunch of stuff that's just front-loaded in early October.
Yeah.
It just feels like it because it's a lot of stuff that we watch. My Hero Academia? Anyone?
No. I'm not
Also-
into that
also,
one.
I've not watched any of it. Also coming out October 4th, and Kingdom Season 6.
I haven't seen any of Kingdom at all. I don't even have anything particularly against it. Like, it's not one that I know if I would like or not. Like, maybe I probably should give it at least the 3-episode try.
How about Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill? Season 2.
There's a lot of people who like that. I don't know if I'd want to.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard that title mentioned, I think 15 times in the last 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, season 2 premieres October 7th. Edit.
Yo, Flip, Ranma 1/2 might have been my first exposure to anime titties, too. Just because, like, my cousin owned it on VHS, and that was the first time I saw anything from Ranma. And I was very young. This was back in, like, maybe the late 90s. I'm trying to remember when it happened. But yeah, it was probably my first exposure to that too. Very, very formative memory. I can relate to that. We used to I've been watching anime a lot longer than even like some of the Toonami crowd. Not shaming on them. Even with that, most of my early anime was Toonami. But my cousin and I, or mostly him because I was just too small and I would go with him. would go to like our Hong Kong marketplace, and you'd be able to get basically bootlegged fan subs of stuff, where like people had to take 2 different VCRs, and they had to encode their subtitles onto the thing that they were recording with the other VCR.
Yeah, I used to do that. 2 VCRs hooked up.
Yep.
Man, there's so much anime that I've never heard of. Crazy. But apparently some big names that I've never heard of. Like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen, yes.
Jujutsu Kaisen. And Hell's Paradise. And Golden Kamui. All premiering in January.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, also shortened as JJK a lot, is kind of like...
Oh, that's what JJK.
Yeah, that's JJK.
Heard
It's
that.
like the top dog. I kind of want to say it's seinen. I don't remember, but it's like it's one of those ones that it's on that border between shonen and seinen, but it might be a little bit too bloody to be shonen. I don't recall, but it's really popular with people who are on the edge of that age group on both sides. But it's basically, it's got everything that a battle shonen has. It's like a slightly older battle shonen. And that's why a lot of people like it. It's like, oh man, it's a battle shonen for more mature people. Oh, is shonen? Oh, yeah, it's just on the higher end of shonen.
Okey-dokey. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. There's also, that JJK is the one where you've probably seen the meme around with the "Nah, I'd win." That's from that. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Flit says there's a Golden Kamui clip on his channel. A little shameless shilling. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, nice.
Now, Flit, actually, I think, don't you have mod? You could drop the link if you want. I don't care. Flit, if he is a mod, and I think he did, because I'm pretty sure I modded him back when we were doing the RPG. He is basically limitless mod power. Like, I basically gave our mods guns. They could do whatever they want in there.
Very good.
Yeah.
How's ReZero? Is that any good?
I'm not into it. It's popular.
Okay.
You got some good character designs, but it's not my thing.
Yeah. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Isn't that all anime? Some jobless NEET gets reincarnated.
I think most. that's a big genre now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing Konosuba was making fun of.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a thing back then, right? Back when like Konosuba was first being made. And Konosuba was a parody, sort of. I wouldn't say parody, but a satire of like the isekai thing back when it was first made. And now it doesn't even seem like it's satire of it because everything that's been made since then is just far more ridiculous.
Yeah, it somehow became serious.
Yeah.
It became a, serious, just a competitor to all the others.
It's kind of like the first Spaceballs being like a parody satire of Star Wars, but the direction Star Wars has gone after Lucas, you're like, Spaceballs just seems more like actual Star Wars than Star Wars does at this point.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Oh, yeah, and speaking of, people being reincarnated, I actually have been watching. Uh-oh.
With Flit, he's like, oh, fuck ReZero. That shit is so trash. Marsupial would probably love it.
Yeah, probably. Hey, I've been watching that time I got reincarnated as a slime. So
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't watched that in a week or two. At least I
There you go.
recognize that it's trash, even though I keep watching it.
You know, that's fine too. Like there's a lot of stuff that I like, and I know it's just because it fits my personal sensibilities, and I know that is bad, and that's fine. You know, like I'm not gonna try to pretend
Yeah.
that it's like the greatest thing ever made or whatever. It's like, no, this is garbage, but it's my kind of garbage.
Well, it's funny, like that show and the other slime show, what was it? I was killing slimes for 300 years until I maxed my level.
Yeah.
Like both garbage, both really like everything is just low stakes. There's no you know, there's no tension. It's really like almost a kids show, like a really young kids show. Both of those. It's odd, but yeah, utter trash.
You know
I
what was
can't stop
trash?
watching
Actually, you know what? I wasn't even planning on talking about this because I forgot until just now. Because we talked about it, I think yesterday, and I got most of it out of my system. But I'm going to talk about it. Popular thing going on right now. I forced myself to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. Right,
Yeah.
and I emphasize I forced myself to watch it. It was. I wouldn't say it was difficult to make it all the way through, but at certain points, I basically had to turn my brain off. You know, there's so much wrong with it that I wouldn't even call it bad, but it's not great either, right? And people are talking about like it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's like one of the best animated films ever made. Dude, this thing is mid. It's like Solo Leveling. This thing is like painfully mid as I'm watching it. And like my brain is just like scratching the entire time I'm watching it because it's not even the animation. I didn't mind the animation so much compared to Spider-Verse, which a lot of the animation team were some of the same people that worked on that. And it kind of does that sort of low FPS thing, the jittery animation. I didn't mind it as much here because it was smoother. It wasn't to the point that Spider-Verse was, but it still bothered me here and there. I didn't even mind the models. I thought the models were fine, like from a design standpoint. There's a lot of stuff that like they tried their best to make it work in 3D that you would normally only do in 2D, and I give them like applause for that. There's some good things I can say about this. Even some of the humor, like some of the facial expression bits were funny. Like I genuinely liked some of that. But these are the few good things I can say about this series. Or this series. It's going to be a series, this movie. But it's so popular, they're going to make a series out of it. And there's one good song in the whole thing. One good song, and it's not even by the main characters. It's by their antagonist, which is like a demon boy band. And it's like this song with soda pop in the lyrics. I can't even really remember how it goes. It was catchy. It was hooky. That was the point of the song. It was the only one. Even as like an album, it's not a very good album, right? It's something that you could tell they got the inspiration because of the fake League of Legends band KDA, which is like a K-pop band of League of Legends characters that exist in like the League of Legends extended universe, and they kind of took that idea and made an original story with original characters off of that idea. That's basically where that comes from. I don't know if that's actually the truth, but watching this and knowing a lot of the culture and the influence League of Legends has on Korea, I guarantee you that's where this comes from. I don't even need to hear an interview about it to know. And it's like, the plotting was the worst part. The dialogue wasn't even too bad, though sometimes it was because of the nature of plotting, where it was one of those things where, yes, it was comedic at times, but it was also serious at times. And it took itself very, very seriously in those moments to where some of like the cartoon nature of events doesn't really work. Sometimes things just happened. They weren't set up. This wasn't a payoff or something. Things just happened because it was time for that thing to happen, you know, like as it does in bad storytelling. It felt like there were things that were supposed to be payoffs for stuff that were set up, but never actually were set up, and things that felt like they were setups for payoffs that never actually happened. It was just kind of like, okay, now we're here, we're doing this thing. Now we're here, we're doing this thing. It doesn't matter if they're connected or related. These things are just happening right now. Even the finale felt like that, right? Like there was this whole thing. Maybe there was 2 earned or deserved moments in the whole movie, but there was like this whole thing where obviously I don't give a shit about spoiling it because it's not that good of a movie. Demons have like markings on them, which actually kind of fits with some of like the Korean culture for those type of monsters. This didn't seem like, from what little I know about Korean culture, that it was disrespectful to it. It seemed like a lot of the people, they knew what they were talking about more or less. Probably knew more than I do because I'm not that into Korean culture. It's still kind of foreign to me. But like the demons have like these patterns, these markings on them, which you see in a lot of other similar cultures too. And the main character of the group also has those patterns because it turns out that her father was a demon and she's like half demon and she's trying to keep it secret. And there's like this big falling out after they expose that she's half demon and she's been keeping it secret from everyone. So like they all split up and now everybody's like tense and they're falling into like their own insecurities because like now that they're insecure, the demon lord or whatever can talk to them all in their ears. It's some nonsense that was barely set up. And they all, for some reason, decide to go to this concert, the final concert for the demon boy bands, even though the other 2 basically quit demon hunting or whatever. It doesn't make sense actually why they're there. And they made a big deal earlier that like they write and rehearse their songs like an actual music group. Out of nowhere, the main girl's just like, whatever, I'm going to fight the Demon King anyway, even though there was not an emotional moment to drive me to do this yet. If anything, I should probably still be more depressed. I'm going to go fight him anyway. I'm going to go do it. And she starts like singing a song that's brand new to that moment that they never wrote or rehearsed, which already defies the logic that was set up in the world. Not that there's that much, I guess, logic to begin with. And then the other 2, who had never heard this song before, never rehearsed the song with her, who should still by all means be kind of upset with her, just get up on stage and start singing. Be like, yeah, this is the right thing to do. And it's like, I get what you're going for, but you're taking way too many shortcuts. And that's like this whole movie. This is a movie of trying to make a longer story in as short time as possible. And just taking all these shortcuts, and there's nothing that ever gets set up and delivered. It would have been better as a series to begin with. Great. Yeah.
I saw that Critical Drinker reviewed it.
Yeah.
I thought he was brutal.
Yeah, Fizzy says the movie's more about the music than the story. That is mostly true, which would be good if the music was better. I'm not that into K-pop, but even by K-pop standards, I don't think the music's that good. Overall, like it's not that good of an album. It's pretty mid. It's not bad, but it's mid. Yeah, that's like the whole movie. Is like this is a very, very mid movie that really just got popular because it's K-pop. It kind of it reminds me of a worse version of Josie and the Pussycats. If anybody's ever seen the live action Josie and the Pussycats movie, they know what I'm talking about.
Josh was claiming it's AI generated. I think it wasn't. Isn't it just there's some CGI?
Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, they might have used it to cut corners here and there, but no, it's actually modeled. I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff on certain channels and stuff. Like, I don't think it's AI generated. He just said it gave him those vibes though.
Oh,
yeah. Vibes, yeah.
My mistake. Mm-hmm. Well, the girl band pop group in Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl is called Sweet Bullet. Another silly name. We're talking about anime, Ethereal Dragon. Welcome.
I mean, we don't have to be. I've got other things to talk about. I kind of don't want to rant more about K-pop Demon Hunters other than like don't watch it necessary unless you want to like jump into a trash fire. That's fine, you know. Like maybe revel in that stuff.
Actually, I have no desire.
Yeah.
I have no desire to watch it except to spite Flit.
Mhm.
No, I'm just getting all hyped up about solo leveling.
Uh-huh.
Not
But
really.
you know what? Actually, that was another. I think even less than just being about the music, though the music is part of it. I think that is part of the problem with K-pop Demon Hunters. Is part of the same problem with like solo leveling. It's all hype moments and aura.
Mhm. Yeah, aura
Right.
farming.
Yeah. It's all of that. It's just hype moments and aura farming, except more towards the type that maybe a girl audience might like. Right? But it still has action to try to bring in guys. Like, you have cute girls doing actiony thing. Guys are going to like that on paper, right? But it's just like hype moments and aura farming with like some latent romance put in there.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit. Pass. Hard pass.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
that's what I was saying too. Like, Ethereal comes and said it's an okay movie. Yeah, I just thought it was mid. It wasn't as good as everybody's saying it is. It's just a mid movie.
Hmm. Find background so I can turn on my camera. So there's some movie news, or did you want to talk about that book?
Oh, we could do the book too. I've got movie news as well, but and then we can talk about a book. So a cool thing that I saw pop up in the news is that Stephen King actually made a picture book for kids. It's not an original story at all. In fact, it's one of the oldest stories in like European history. But he did a new reimagined version of Hansel and Gretel that features unpublished illustrations by the late Maurice Sendak. And it looks great. Like, I've seen some pictures of the illustrations. It doesn't look like it's trying to be some weird contemporary version of Hansel and Gretel. It is like the old version with these like Germanic kids who were thrown off into the woods because their parents don't want them anymore. And it's got a cottage made of candy with a witch and everything. All the stuff that you're looking for. It's just remade in some contemporary language to make it a little easier to understand. Because I think even the main versions of Hansel and Gretel that you get, like from the Golden Books, have like mid-century language, which isn't the hardest thing for an adult to understand, but it's not the words that kids are used to hearing come out of people's mouths these days. So you want something that's a little easier for kids. And that's basically all this is. It's poetic. You adapting an old story like this for a modern audience while also still keeping it in the old setting is actually a really good exercise for writers. It lets you kind of flex your poetic skills a little bit with the constraints that you have.
Does he lean into the horror?
Oh, I'm sure he does, but
Horror
like
of it?
from what I could tell, this is like the actual Hansel and Gretel story where, like, you know, they push the witch into the oven at the end of it. Like, it's a very, very horrifying story for a kid's perspective, you know?
Yeah. Well, alrighty.
Yeah.
I don't.
There
think
was not
I'm
too much
gonna
to
get
talk about there.
anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get anything from Stephen King. He's like certifiable.
Oh, he is.
Nuts.
But you know what? I think that's why like a lot of his stuff is good. I think he was probably always certifiably nuts. Right? It's just one of those things like, can you separate the art from the artist, right? I've always enjoyed his stuff up until I haven't read anything since Cell. Cell kind of like made me want to stop reading. I didn't even finish Cell. I didn't find out what the ending of that was until the movie later on. And that was when that came out
What
when
was
I was
that
in
about?
high school. That was the one where there was like a cell phone signal that kind of like went out, and anybody who like answered their phone at it was turned into like a zombie, right? Like this hive mind human thing, and everybody went to this cell tower. And I did not finish the book. I made it maybe like 2/3 into it. There was like this awful scene at a restaurant, which was adapted into the movie, but it wasn't as brutal in the movie as it was in the book. And I didn't find out how that ended until the movie came out, and I was just watching it with my family. It's like, this book is awful. I'm not finishing it.
I don't even remember that at all.
Yeah. Who was in the movie? Was it Cusack? Was he the main character? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Looks like John Cusack and
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. But I heard Doctor Sleep was good. Like, people who liked his older stuff like Doctor Sleep. The book itself, I just didn't read it when it was new. So Cell put me on like I'm skipping Stephen King books for a long time. I really should go back, read Doctor Sleep, and read some of his newer stuff. I think Cell might just be like one of those odd ones where I personally just did not like the book.
Yeah, I saw the movie. Excuse me. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
A little weird, you know.
Yeah, what was it? Ewan
Continuation
McGregor
of
in
The
it?
Shining. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Ewan McGregor. I haven't even watched the movie. I should probably watch that one too. But I haven't watched it because I kind of want to read the book before I watch the movie.
Oops.
Yeah, and I just haven't gotten around to reading
Yeah, I
it
think.
yet.
Yeah, he. I guess he still has the Shining, and because he's Danny, the kid.
Yeah.
And he ends up helping people move on to the next life or whatever. He ends up working in a hospital, I think, or a nursing home or something.
Yeah, I barely remember what
Basically,
the premise was because all I ever read was the back of the book.
Yeah, basically just telepathically talks to people who are dying, sort of keep them.
Well, this is a funny
calm.
thing, right? If you read the book, it's made very, very obvious in the book what The Shining is. If you watch the movie, you can still get it from the movie. Like, it's not trying to obscure it. But a lot of people who watch specifically Kubrick's movie don't even know what The Shining is. They think it's like the haunting of the house and not the fact that, like, the kid is psychic. Like, there's this phenomenon in Stephen King's, like, Dark Tower universe, this collective thing, where you have, like, The Shining. Yeah. That's even the people who protect the towers in the Dark Tower all have The Shining. They have psychics hooked up to things. But it's like, yeah, Kubrick did make that a little obtuse, I guess. You know, he didn't make it very clear for everyone, and there's people who missed it in his adaptation.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it centered more around Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Yep, that was the only book news I got, was Hansel and Gretel. Great story. I think every single kid should be told that story. That's like on the list of, you need to tell these stories to your kids because there are life lessons they can learn through these stories before they have to learn it themselves. It's like the whole point of these stories. This is why they've lasted so long. My parents used to read me the Golden Books and stuff all the time when I was little.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think I started reading it to them
I had those.
at a certain point, right? And you get to a point where like the kid's so excited to read, and it's like, and I was a very early reader, that it's like, no, I want to read it. I want to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an old story.
Yep. And so yeah, we've got movie and series news for like TV series and stuff like that. Though a lot of these, it's hard to actually call them TV series because the only way they ever make it out to your TV is through a streaming service. It's not like they're airing on live TV or anything. One of the ones I thought was really funny was that Steven Spielberg actually approached Activision to make a Call of Duty movie, and Activision was like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. Was that before or after they were acquired by Microsoft?
I think this was before when they were talking about it. So he approached them because he's a big fan of the Call of Duty franchise, which I'm not surprised. Spielberg's the type of guy that like he basically does everything because he feels like doing it. You know, it's not like most people approach him. He's just at the point that it's like, oh, I like this. I want to go and make something on it. So he approaches the other people. That's how like Ready Player One was made, because he actually read the book and he wanted to make a Ready Player One movie. But apparently the thing that contributed them to not making the movie was a bunch of the elements that Spielberg wanted, right? Like he wanted a top of the market economic deal for the movie. He also wanted like full control over the production and marketing and the final cut of the movie. And he wanted to put in like a bunch of stuff that didn't even make sense to be in a Call of Duty movie, because it's Spielberg. It's what he does. It's what he did to Ready Player One. Like he basically only made that if he had full control. And he put tons of stuff that weren't even in the book, probably to its benefit, because I don't know if you've ever read the book. It's not very good. You can enjoy it, but it's not very good. It's like a very, very mid book. That is definitely the author's like personal fantasy, which is not bad. A lot of books are an author's personal fantasy. But it plays out really weirdly at times, and the language isn't that great. I think Spielberg improved Ready Player One by a lot, but for something that's as popular as Call of Duty in the zeitgeist, I don't think you can get away with that.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, Call of Duty movie could go any way. I mean, is there even a story of Call of Duty?
Yes, actually, depending on which one. Actually, for all Call of Duties up until, I think, Modern Warfare 3. I don't remember if 3 had one. 3 might have had one. But it was up until, like, very recently, they had a single-player campaign with stories. My favorite being World at War. But the original Black Ops story is probably a second there. That one's really good. So, like, you could pull anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fischosa brought it up, but I have it in the article here, too, that there is a Call of Duty movie in the works with Paramount currently. So this would have been much before this deal. And I think the Paramount deal even came out... Like, they were working on that prior to the merger with Microsoft. So this would have been years ago that Steven Spielberg did it. He's also, like... Spielberg is one of the few directors in general to ever even have, like, Final Cut privileges. Like, there's very few people who get that or even demand it. Like, Tarantino's one of them. Cameron's one of them. And actually, we know, like, even one of the big problems with the Justice League was that Snyder wasn't even getting a final cut when he was still on the project before they pulled somebody else in to recut and make a different movie out of it. Most people don't get final cut privilege. The production company or license holders often do.
Yeah. When you get to his level, if you're the director, you're
Yeah.
do whatever you want. Too much.
If it's like you wanted to put aliens in. I don't know if you want to put aliens, but they did say that they were spooked by some of the stuff that he wanted in. So it could have been aliens, could have been actual ghosts. It could have been any kind of like weird, nearly magic sci-fi thing that he wanted to put into it, which I guess would work for like a Modern Warfare 3 or later setting, but who knows what kind of demands Spielberg actually wanted. They didn't actually say in the interview. They were pretty coy about it.
Yeah. And there's movies that, I haven't been to the movies in so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had no idea that there was like yet another Jurassic Park movie and
Oh yeah, there was a Jurassic World that came out just like a few weeks ago or something,
Like after the one about the bugs?
Yeah, what was the new one
is this
called?
The one about the bugs?
It was like the most recent one. I forget.
Rebirth or something? Jurassic World Rebirth? Or is that the one about the bugs? I don't know.
I just remember it wasn't
Apparently, Conjuring.
that. Yeah, 2025 Rebirth came out this year.
Okay. The Conjuring Last Rites is absolutely killing it at the box office. Apparently, it's looking to be the biggest opening for a horror film.
Yeah.
More
Conjuring
more than it.
has been just increasing as a franchise. And what's the other one? That's connected to it because there's like a
Nun or something.
Yeah, or that might be it. But yeah, it's like
Annabelle.
a side series that's inside The Conjuring. The Conjuring's like pretty wide.
Yeah.
Super big following. It started out pretty cult, like
Looks-
the first Conjuring.
looks
I
scary.
remember when it came out, and
Mhm.
we didn't end up seeing it. My brother wanted to go, or actually, I think he did go. Yeah, both Annabelle and Nun. Thank you, Fitzjoso. It was the same things that Marsupial said. I think maybe he did end up seeing The Conjuring with somebody else. I was going to go with him originally, and we just ended up not going. But it was pretty small, normal horror audience during its like initial box office, but then it exploded pretty fast, and it's been growing over time.
Yeah. It's funny because Job's in it.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I guess I could take him seriously.
Mm. I'm not really into it. There were two horror franchises I did not like that were getting really popular at the same time. I don't like the Conjuring franchise, which is more or less just about the Warrens, right? So there's a lot of real world stuff in there, and I don't like Insidious, which was also getting really popular at the same time.
Oh,
I
I
thought
didn't-
Insidious was always stupid,
like
even though
that
people
either.
love it. I like some of the concepts in
Yeah,
it in the
and
first
I-
one, but I just don't like the way it was executed or anything.
Yeah, I've seen all of them, and I mean, it's clever, I guess, but a little too clever how they tied in the third one with the first one, and there's like all these things that happened in the first one that are explained by him going back in time or something.
Yeah, and then there's like a later one that's like a prequel to the first one. I think, was that Red Door? I don't remember which one was Red Door, but the Red Door I think is the only one I mildly liked. Like I enjoyed that one kind of.
They somehow
I thought the
tied it all
Tiny Tim
together.
sequence in the first one was hilarious, though. That's like the most memorable part of it. You know what I'm talking about, right? You
Is it,
remember?
like,
Tiptoe through the
is that,
tulips?
like one of the demons. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the red-faced Darth Maul crab demon thing, like came out to Tiptoe Through the Tulips, cover by Tiny Tim.
Yeah. I remember that.
But
Ethereal
there was
says,
also-
"What do
it was
you
too
think
funny."
Of that. Yeah. What do you think of that Jurassic Park fan film?
I haven't watched it
I didn't
yet.
know.
He posted it in the Discord. I have it saved in my watch later. It's on my list. I just haven't been watching too many things since that was posted. But it is on my list of things to watch.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to take a look at that. It's funny how some of these fan films are just so much better
Yeah.
than the professional films.
Oh, one of my favorite things related to Jurassic Park, I think it was earlier this year. We may have even talked about it on the show. There was a guy who took scenes from the original Jurassic Park and then did some video editing over it and basically composited in realistic versions of what the raptors probably would have looked like based on current science, all like covered in black feathers and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Is this oh, that's the Zelda movie. Where did he post that? Is it in the
Let me
news
look.
or what?
Let me look.
Where'd you post that?
It was in the vomitorium. It was near one of the bottom channels.
In the Discord?
Was it the Shilling area?
Shilling?
Yeah, it was the Shilling area. That's right. Okay, I thought so.
Okay, I can. Oh, there it is. Yeah,
which is the appropriate place to shield people's stuff,
Neat.
whether it's yours or somebody else's.
Yeah. Return to Nublar.
Well, the thing with like Jurassic Park, right,
Yeah.
is there was only ever 2 books, right? There was the original Jurassic Park and there was the
Yeah.
Lost World. So even Crichton thought that after the second Jurassic Park, there was nothing really else to do with that story. Like, he was done with it. And then we've been going on for... So some things I like about Jurassic Park 3 is it included some bits from both the original and the second book that were not in either movie. So it was still kind of redeemable in that part. But how many movies are we into the Jurassic World franchise now, right? We're like 5 into it. So like we're 5 past things that took stuff from the books, or are we 4 into it?
I thought we were 3. Yeah, well, I think this is the 4th.
Okay. Yeah, we're like
believe.
4 or 5. Ethereal Dragon says 7. What? Is that 7 total? If it's 7 total, then it's 4 into the Jurassic Park franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Jurassic World, yeah.
Yeah, Fizz says Jurassic World 4. So we're 4 past anything that references something from the actual books, right? 3 is technically an original story, but it uses a lot of stuff from the other 2 books. So it's like in the weird gray area. Yeah, it's like... It doesn't even feel like Jurassic Park anymore, which I guess it isn't. They call it Jurassic World. It is kind of a spin-off sequel franchise in the same way that like everything Disney has done after Lucas' original Star Wars, aside from Rogue One. Rogue One kind of feels like it can fit in the old Lucas stuff, but it just feels like that. It's all, this is a new series tacked on to the old series.
Yeah.
And they're not even really... Jurassic Park is a thriller.
Well,
It's borderline horror, but they're thriller movies. All 3 of them are thrillers. It is about the suspense with the dinosaurs. It's equally about the atmosphere and the implications of things as the action you're seeing on screen. Jurassic World is an action franchise that happens to have dinosaurs in it.
yeah. So it's borderline, well, it's like sci-fi at this point.
Yeah. It's
like
Fast and Furious Dinosaur
dinosaurs that
Edition.
control. Yeah.
Especially like that
the
one
first
scene.
Jurassic World was pretty good,
It was all right.
but it was really weird. Like the new dinosaur was just magic.
Well,
This
nothing
is
made sense in it
magical.
either, right? When you were trying to take precautions from Crichton's book, Crichton thought about almost everything, right? Because he was very anal. He was also like very connected to a bunch of PhDs in a bunch of fields. So he was always trying to be as accurate to science that was known at the time as possible, which also meant that like all of his security precautions made sense because he was talking to security experts and stuff like that, right? And that the whole point to Crichton's books were that they were doing everything right, but chaos theory, it was the hubris that you could predict what would go wrong or weren't thinking about the unknown things that could go wrong. It wasn't that people were incompetent. It's like, no, these were the most competent people possible, but things were still going to go wrong. The new stuff, everything's incompetent. Like, none of the security precautions make any sense. They're not thinking about things in the same way that Crichton did.
Plus, they've got magical dinosaurs that can like
Yeah.
camouflage themselves, and they know what a tracker is, so that they dig it out of their skin. And
Yeah, I agree with Fischoso. Second one more than the first. It's more like Resident Evil with dinosaurs. This actually has more in common with Dino Crisis than it does with Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the third one was just about bugs.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? It's like, oh no, bugs are eating the crops.
Mm-hmm.
What? something clone. I don't know. I saw the third one.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, Fizz, it was still magic. It doesn't matter if you give the Indominus chameleon DNA. Chameleon's camouflage doesn't work that way. This was like retro-reflective mirroring is like what it was doing, like...
Yeah. Well, plus, like,
Yeah.
You know, they put like 10 different, sets of DNA so that they could just have it do whatever
Yeah.
crazy thing they wanted it to. Like, oh yeah, we put some, I don't know, SEAL Team 6 DNA in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be, super amazing, imaginative.
Like Dr. Malcolm was the
Literally
main
a Bible.
character of the original Jurassic Park. Not just the sequel, because they brought him back. And it was the main character because Dr. Malcolm was a self-insert for Michael Crichton.
Mhm.
And he was right about everything, every single time. And everything, which
course.
was also straining chaos theory because, like, the principles that, like, you can't predict what's going to go wrong were true. Like, the way he explained chaos theory in the book was absolutely what chaos theory is. The way he used it, on the other hand, like, for some reason, Malcolm would just be right about everything. It's like, yeah, but according to your own explanation, you should not be able to precisely predict how things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
But of course, it's because he's the voice
Well,
of the
also,
author,
I'm
and the
pretty
author
sure-
knows where the book is going. So,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he died in the first book.
no, because he was the only character returned to the second one. Now, it was a fake out death. You don't know if he lived or not in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he returned to the second one,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he seemed like he died. Hammond
he-
definitely died.
Yeah,
I
Hammond
remember
definitely
that
died.
one.
He disappeared in the book, but there was no confirmation. There was never a body or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty egregious to be like, well, these ended up being popular characters in the movie, so I'm going to bring them back for book 2.
No, he was always coming back for book 2 because he's his self-insert. There's always a right character that is Crichton's self-insert in every single one of his books if you read them and pay attention.
You know.
You know, which is not a
Actually
problem.
I actually read Jurassic Park when it came out,
Yeah.
from cover to cover.
Yeah,
I like every chapter there was like a fractal that would get bigger and bigger as the book went on. I like that little design that he had in there.
It was supposed to be like a visual or like interpretation of chaos theory and how like things are just getting progressively worse and you can't account for everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a good, very, very, starts out as a very simple little symbol and then just becomes an extremely complex shape. So,
Yep. I don't really have much else
Well-
to say about Jurassic World other than that I've kind of grown to hate it. At first, I just didn't care about it. Like, I was indifferent, but now I've kind of grown to hate it.
yeah. Well, that fan film, it looks like you sent like this says a fan film update
Yeah.
from Beta Reviews. It's only like 3 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to watching it. If you want to put it on, you can. Like, we can watch it now.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll watch it later.
if you want to in the background. If we got something else to talk about, we
I
can.
don't really have much on this subject to talk about. Apparently, he's open for interviews and stuff on it, so, like, I could reach out to the guy. No, let me put this on full screen.
Oh.
Yeah, or something like that. We could have him on sometime. That could be cool. I just
Yeah.
was going to wait until I've watched it to reach out to anybody.
Mhm.
If somebody's got, like, a project they're working on, I'll talk to almost anybody about their project.
Mhm. Cool.
Oh, you know what? Nobody ever donates anyway. Let me remove the donation goal so people can see the
Oh,
subtitles.
you can't see the.
There we go.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. Try that again.
I'd like if people donated, but it's not required. So
Mhm.
if you want, it's on the screen right now. You can always donate to streamlabs.com/vomitorium live. Really helps us out.
Mhm. 3D dinosaurs. Well, while this is playing, what else have you got on your roster?
Let's
Fascinating
see. Funny, almost cathartic news, but I hate to see it happen to anybody. But the Life of Strange series that's being made by Amazon will not have any of the original creators. Any at all. Any of the original creators on the project. And it's like, I don't like Life is Strange. I don't really care about it personally. It's not my thing. But it does have a pretty big audience. And it's kind of sad to see anything being made without the input from the original creators. You know? Because it's not going to be the same.
I guess. I mean, it looks like a really weird game. Probably not interested in.
Yeah. Well, because it's like
like
it's kind of like a
just,
Telltale game, you know?
Yeah. Do they just like sell it? I mean, just like here are the rights. Do whatever you want. We don't want anything to do with it.
I actually don't know who owns the rights right now. It was published under Square Enix when they first made the games. But I don't know if it was like one of the things where it was sold off to Embracer. Embracer might own it now when Square was selling off a bunch of its stuff.
Okay.
I don't care about Life is Strange, so I didn't really pay attention to where it went when Square was doing their big sellout. I'm assuming Embracer owns it now, and they're the ones that licensed it off to Amazon. And looking at the other stuff that Embracer's licensed out, I don't think they care. Like, look at the Tomb Raider on Netflix.
Yeah. So Flip said you needed to berate the audience and tell them they're broke.
Yeah.
If you want them to donate, prove you're not.
Yeah.
$5. Can't even afford $5. Come on. Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like
very CGI.
Yeah, and they kind of well, but for a fan film though, that's really good, right? I'm trying to think like what this isn't like Universal Studios or something is making this movie, right? This is like a fan film that looks great. I would hope if you were making a fan film, you would go with how dinosaurs actually look like, and not what people pretended or thought that dinosaurs looked like back then. But they're also trying to make it to match the way the dinosaurs look in Jurassic Park. So I don't blame them for going that way. The franchise has already kind of told them, like, this is what a raptor should look like. We do have a problem with dinosaurs where, for a long time, people didn't treat these strange things like they were animals. They treated them like dragons, which is what a lot of people thought these bones were when they first found them in the past. So all they basically did was wrap skin around the bones and get like these like crusty, shrivelly, mutant-looking things. We understand that dinosaurs were animals.
I mean,
now.
it look like lizards.
You know, dinosaurs, they have fat. They have muscles on them, you know. They'd be chunky things. A T-Rex, if you look up what a T-Rex should look like, it actually looks closer to Barney the dinosaur than it ever did. Like people used to be like, Barney doesn't look like a T-Rex. It's like, well, when you start putting a lot of fat on it, yeah, actually he kind of does a little. Well, yeah, and Velociraptors, as Fish shows opponents, were much smaller in real life. Technically, what they're showing aren't Velociraptors. They just use the name for it. Velociraptors were maybe a little bit bigger than a turkey. Or there's actually, there's a name of a real-life bird that is roughly the size of a velociraptor. I can find the name really quickly. They're cool birds. You should look into them. I know I sent it to Buck recently, which is why I can find the name. I just have to do a little bit of scrolling up. They're called the Kori bustard. If you go look up a Kori bustard, Kori, and it's like saying bastard but with a U. This is about the size that a velociraptor was. And they probably look very similar to them too, except more bird-like. Very cool birds. They can inflate their necks really big. But yes, they are supposed to kind of be the Deinonychus, but we didn't know that was a thing yet. There was a hypothetical raptor that should have been in this range that wasn't discovered yet, but based off of, like, the wildlife, like the things they could feed on and the populations of that time, they thought there should be a raptor that size. And after the book was written, before the movie was made, they found one. And that is the Deinonychus that we have now. So that's closer. That's the dinosaur it should be.
Split wants to eat a dinosaur.
Well, you do all the time. If you eat a chicken, you eat a dinosaur. All avian birds
Most
are
rocks.
dinosaurs. They're just the ones that are around now. Right? All birds in general. I say avian birds. Avian dinosaurs became birds. The only...
Or just eat it.
Yeah.
You could eat a crocodile. They're pretty much dinosaurs. They've been around for...
Yeah,
millions
but
of
they're not
millions of years.
dinosaurs. They're a different thing.
I suppose.
Well, the lineage
The
of
gator
all
tail. It's really
dinosaurs
good.
are the lineage of avians. But not all dinosaurs were avian dinosaurs, right? There were branches that died off. Most other dinosaurs weren't. Theropods are the group that became birds now. Every single modern bird comes from the theropods, and that makes them dinosaurs.
Split wants to eat them all. Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Procompsognathus. You name it, he wants to eat it.
My favorite dinosaur, the Ankylosaurus.
Uh-huh.
Nobody asks you your favorite dinosaur anymore. What's your favorite dinosaur,
Yeah.
Marsupial? And also, people in the chat, you tell me your favorite dinosaur before we close out. I want to know. Mine is the Ankylosaurus. I always thought it was the coolest dinosaur.
I'm gonna have to think about it. Let's see what the chat comes up with here.
It's
Split's
okay to
probably all of
say
them.
Tyrannosaurus, or specifically the T-Rex. It's a badass dinosaur. There's nothing wrong with going with the super popular one. Megaraptor, base choice. I like that one, Fischozo.
Dinosaur one with a huge club on its tail. Isn't that yours?
That's the
Isn't that what
Ankylosaurus. We're buddies there. Boom. Yeah, it's got like almost like a mace on its tail. And it's got like the hard back and like the spikes going along the sides of its back, not down the middle.
I kind of like these compies. They're cute. They're like little cats that eat you.
Yeah. Ankylosaurus has always been my favorite since I was a kid. I used to have like little dinosaur figures that would come with these like workbooks my parents would get me, and I would put them on my dresser, like little displays. And the Ankylosaurus always sat like front and center because it was my favorite.
Yeah. I like the what was it called? The Apatosaurus.
Oh yeah, that's a
thing
good one.
That was mistaken. People thought was a Brontosaurus, but Brontosaurus never actually existed. They're big.
I've also always liked Diplodocus. There's a pretty good one too. Oviraptors. I like oviraptors. I think that might be my favorite type of raptor.
Yeah, see, when I was growing up, the Brontosaurus was like the quintessential.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, I guess, the T-Rex was pretty popular too, but just remember that. And it was like, found out years later, wait a minute, that never actually existed.
Yeah. The greater category of
Exactly.
brachiosaurs, though, I do like them. The big saurians. Let's see. Ethereal says Triceratops, T-Rex, Stegosaurus. It's like the trifecta of like the super popular ones. But again, they're cool, so there's no problem with that. I like all of them. They're not my personal favorites, but they're up there. I like all of them. Stegosaurus is pretty cool. I would think like the Stegosaurus would probably be one of the tastier dinosaurs if you were to eat it. Just like looking at like the bone shape and how the meat would have to wrap around it. Like they would probably have some pretty big thighs that you could probably carve some pretty tender meat off of.
Yeah, probably nice and fatty too. In some cases. Good stuff. I could eat a T-Rex. I think.
Big old drumstick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Take it to the park. Take it to
Go
the
to the-
the
How big would
the ballpark.
Because standing up, a T-Rex is about 14 feet tall on average. But that's not where the hip would be. I'm trying to think how tall the hip would be.
14.
Yeah, about 14 feet. They're on average, they're about the size of a house. The females could be bigger. Sometimes they were like up to like 16 feet or whatever. But so I'm trying to think.
I think I'd also like the front, the little wings.
Maybe. I don't know how much meat would be on those.
Buffalo sauce.
But the breast would actually probably be pretty good because they should have been chunkier than most people ever depicted them. So there'd be a lot of like really big, probably redder than modern bird meat is, but still in the white meat category, giant chicken breasts.
It says the entire leg of a Tyrannosaurus was 11 feet long.
I can see that because they don't stand too much taller than their hip, right? Because they're mostly horizontal creatures.
Yeah.
A really cool
stick
thing
with
about
chickens.
T-Rex. We're gonna end the show on dinosaur facts, right? So there's a modern theory that there aren't a lot of medium-sized predators during the time that most Tyrannosaurs, specifically the Tyrannosaurus Rex, was around, and they were wondering why they don't find a lot of mid-sized predators, and it's probably because of the long lifespan of Tyrannosaurs, and that they only spend like the last third of their life full size. They're much smaller for the vast majority of their life. They probably lived in families because they do show pack-like traits, small families, similar to wolves, and the juveniles likely ran creatures into ambushes because the adults would not have like the running capacity to hunt. They would probably be mostly scavengers, but being scavengers doesn't make sense for them to get enough diet for their size. So they were actually probably hidden ambush predators that hid in the trees in the thick forest, and the juveniles would chase their prey into it, and they would eat as a family. So the mid-sized predators were also the T-Rexes, which I think is really cool if that's the case.
Yeah. Apparently, the Apatosaurus would taste similar to beef or bison, kind of like an emu.
Oh, probably likely. Yeah.
Or, like a large.
It would need like really thick, redder meat to be able to sustain its body. A lot of the bigger ones would probably be close to redder meat.
Yeah. Of course, but it was an herbivore, so,
Yeah. It would develop like these
similar to like a cow or
thicker,
bison or
tenuous muscles because of that. Yeah. Well, that's why I said, like, I think the Stegosaurus would probably taste really good because that's also an herbivore, right? And I like my red meat.
Again, like a big cow.
Yeah.
They had like 4 stomachs, right, or something.
Probably. I don't.
Something.
I don't know if we actually know. Cows have like
Similar
4
to
stomachs,
yeah.
I don't know if we know because all we have is like the empty rib cage and like area where the organs would be. And so, like, sometimes you get something that fell into like a tar pit or something. Like, we have T-Rex skin. We know what its flesh looks like. We know that at most it was mostly scaly. Maybe it would have had finer feathers, but that wasn't saved in the skin. It was probably one of the few featherless dinosaurs, unless the feathers were on his back. It might have had back feathers because once you get that big, you don't need feathers to stay warm, right? Your body mass just stays warm, even if you're a cold-blooded creature. Smaller dinosaurs would have had feathers because they need it like birds do to stay warm.
Yeah.
But maybe they might have even had feathers as juveniles and lost it as they got bigger, which also makes sense because a lot of their closest relatives would have had feathers. So that, I love dinosaurs. That was like one of my earliest interests in life, like most boys. But like I was really, really into dinosaurs.
Well, I'll tell you one thing Google is good for these days is explaining what a dinosaur tastes like. Why?
Yeah.
I've gotten like 2 or 3 hits so far that I think probably spot on.
No.
T-Rex would be a bit tough and gamey, though.
Yeah, for sure. Especially being something that, while it was an ambush predator in its adult life, if that's true, it still would have been scavenging a lot because nobody says no to a free meal, and smaller dinosaurs don't eat the whole carcass when they take down. So there would be a lot of game for T-Rex to eat. Scavengers
Well, plus,
tend
like,
to have that kind of more coarse meat in general.
and well, and hunters in general too, because they tend to have tougher,
Yeah.
muscle, whereas of course, chickens are bred to just be lazy and fat.
Yeah, but what if we bred the T-Rexes?
Yeah, I bet you could get them more chicken-like.
I don't think it would be viable though, because like when you scale up, you have to eat even more. It's not like proportion to your body mass. There's like a curve to it to keep yourself alive when you're big. Like if we wanted bigger meat that's like chickeny meat that we were bred, it would be better to not build anything that's bigger than maybe a cow, right? And you'd still want to be a little bit smaller because predators take more food than herbivores do, right? Like grazing animals. So like maybe like a Utah raptor is the biggest thing we'd ever want if we wanted burr meat. Or otherwise we'd be feeding them more than we feed us. It's time to go. Yeah.
I'm getting hungry now.
I am too. Talking about eating dinosaurs and stuff like that. So thank you all for watching the show. We often get sidetracked. So, if you want to get us onto a tangent, just show up in the chat and suggest stuff. And maybe we'll just start talking about the culinary delicacies of dinosaurs in the future. Who knows? And if you really enjoy the show, whether you're watching now or later on in the future, you can always give a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive. Even leave a message. We might talk about the thing you want to talk about later. I will keep them in a folder. And we'll see you guys no later than Thursday for Game Central Junction.
Bye.